Good afternoon. In accordance with Sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990, as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. My name is HERBERT, and I will be chairing today's session. Panel members today are Nazila Atarodi West, Ryan Bissonnette, Philip Ghosh, and Paul Gauguin. We acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submissions in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connecting with their computer or telephone and have the option of participating via video or audio only. When your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must fill out a decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision of to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons, and public bodies are permitted to appeal decisions of the Committee of Adjustment. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. Today I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentation if desired. When the committee does not require a presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions and/or take the matter into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when you are reaching the 5 minutes. Any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept materials at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee on the application. Then individuals either in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. Generally, we first call on speakers in the hearing room and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion. The application will then be taken into committee for a decision. Are there any declarations of interest of panel or staff? I don't see any. Thank you. Moving on. Let's see. Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer, are there any deferral requests this afternoon?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I see none.
Thank you. Are there any, I suppose there are no files to be closed either for this.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I see none.
Thank you. And now we can begin to look at the various applications. Application number 19 is our next one. Application number 19, 462 Wellington Street West. Committee had before it the following communication. Copy of the minutes for the February 12th public hearing and the materials submitted for consideration. Copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, and the site-specific zoning bylaw revised diagram 6 affecting the subject property. We also have reports and email correspondence from Transportation Review, dated March 6, 2025. And we also have Metrolinx, I believe it's an advisory notice, advisory staff report, received March 19th, 2025.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent here in person, no registered speakers for this item.
Good afternoon. Oh, very well, thank you. I'm glad you're here. We don't see too many visitors, so it's great. Thank you. Bear with me a moment. I wonder if you could just state your name and address, please. Thank you very much.
197 Spadina Avenue, Suite 600.
Thanks. There aren't any voices in opposition to this particular application. Let me just ask colleagues if they'd like to ask questions or require presentation. Colleagues, any requests for presentation? Any questions that you may have?
I do have a question, but I don't need a...
Certainly. So Mr. Ghosh has a question for you.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering what's the rationale to eliminating office use?
So there is an existing office on the site today. Through the zoning bylaw that was approved in 2022, office was going to be replaced on site, but the site-specific bylaw didn't capture that requirement, nor does the downtown plan require that here in the King Spadina area. We've been working closely with the community planning on this site. There's a great need for retirement home units, specifically in the downtown. There really aren't a lot of them. And so our client who owns and operates retirement homes thought that it would be better use as retirement home units and amenity areas in the units and rooms for this site.
Okay.
If I may just ask you a quick question. You're talking about increased height. Looking at the drawings, it's the tall tower that you're looking to increase height in? Or
I do have a presentation we can pull up, but we don't need to go to it. It's, if we'll go to, if you want to see it on slide, of course my slides are numbered. Go about 4 more through. This one here. So the total quantum of height increase is 2 meters. That's generally representative of an incremental floor-by-floor increases needed for the to increase the floor-to-floor ceiling height. We found in our different retirement homes that obviously you need higher floors, especially on the amenity areas and the longer-term care and memory floors, where it's perhaps a little bit more institutional-like, where they need more height, because some users, that's generally where they spend the majority of their time.
Thank you. Any other questions, colleagues? Or we'll take it into committee and come up with a decision.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any reflections?
I'll just reflect. I do sometimes have trouble with eliminating office uses in places where it's maybe beneficial to have that mixed use, but this is right downtown and there is plenty of office, so I don't think that actually applies to this scenario. But that's what I was getting at with that question. I think it's all of this is very minor. The only one that potentially wouldn't have been is the increase in residential space, but we already spoke about that, and residential care home is a good use in this location.
Thank you. Any other thoughts? Or Ms. Ghosh, would you like to put that into a motion?
Sure, yeah, I'll just put that into a motion. So for those reasons, I move to approve it. There are no conditions.
Thank you. Seconder? Ooh, that was great. Thank you, Mr. Gergen. Thank you. All those in favor? Ms. Squires, you have your approval.
Thank you very much. Have a
Thank you.
wonderful remainder of your day.
Thank you. Take care. Moving on to item number 20. Number 20 is 390 Palmerston Boulevard. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. 4 photographs of trees on the subject property received February the 5th, 2025. Covering letter from the agent received March 20th, 2025. Pardon me. Staff report from Urban Forestry received March 19th, 2025. One form letter in support signed by the owner-occupants of 388 Palmerston Boulevard received March 20th, 2025. And we have correspondence in concern from 507 Euclid Avenue received March 20th, 2025.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have the agent online. We also have the owner at 507 Euclid Avenue listed as a registered speaker. We're just trying to get a hold of them.
Thank you. Is that Nicole? Are you online? Hello, Nicole.
Address is 236 Emerson Avenue.
I'm sorry, we just missed the first part.
Sorry about that. This is Nicole Weissar, and my address is 236 Emerson Avenue.
Thank you very much. But Faisal, we've got one person who's listed as being in interest. I'm not sure if, I suspect we may just need, if you can provide a short presentation, please, that might help while we're trying to get a hold of the person in interest.
Of course, happy to.
Thank you.
I'm here today to present a proposed renovation and addition at 390 Palmerston Boulevard. The project includes an interior renovation and rear addition, with the basement being converted into 2 separate rental units, and the above-grade floors will remain the primary residence for the homeowners. Additionally, the existing garage will be repurposed and expanded into a laneway suite, maintaining its original footprint and providing additional housing. In regards to the variances, the first variance for wall height is for the rear portion of the 3rd floor. We are requesting this variance simply to achieve full ceiling height for the principal suite. The second variance for building length is actually an existing condition, as we're not extending the overall length of the home, but just filling in a rear recess. The third floor variance is for roof eaves, and it's an existing condition, and the property line is very close to the home on the north side. The fourth variance is to allow for minimal pathways on the front yard to access these basement units. The variance is really created because of the small size of the private property of the front yard, but the remainder of the city property will remain grassed as it is right now. The fifth variance is for rear yard soft landscaping. I believe this is a minimal variance, and it's important to note that for the laneway suite, we comply with soft landscaping requirements for the backyard, and this variance is only required if you consider the main dwelling as a standalone project. The sixth variance is the only variance needed for the laneway suite, and it's required in order to build the 2nd floor above the existing garage. We've included in our submission a support letter from 388 Palmerston, and also received the letter of concern from the homeowners at 507 Euclid. The concern listed in their letter was in regards to any further reduction in the width of the laneway. In hopes of alleviating their concerns, I dropped off a letter and a set of plans to their house yesterday, just confirming that there will not be any reduction in the laneway width, as we're proposing to add the 2nd floor above the existing garage, and we are not proposing to move the laneway any closer than the existing garage. In conclusion, we believe the proposed addition to the main dwelling and converting the existing garage into a laneway suite are both positive contributions to the community. If the neighbor or any community panel has any questions or concerns, I'm more than happy to provide more info.
Thank you very much. Just a quick question on my part. Variances 4 and 5, are those existing conditions?
The front is not existing. We're creating additional walkways connected to the existing walkway just to get access that could be shoveled in the winter to those 2 basement units.
Okay.
And the rear yard, I mean, we have some pathways that are required for the laneway, but the laneway suite, we're not triggering any soft landscaping. We're fully complying with the requirements for soft. It's just for that standalone house zoning review created a soft landscaping variance.
Thank you very much. Let me just see if my colleagues have either any questions or thoughts. If not, we'll see if we've been able to locate a person of interest.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have made multiple attempts, haven't been able to contact.
Thank you. Perhaps we'll go into committee and have a discussion about it and possibly come up with a decision. Mr. Gogan, thank you.
Yeah, first of all, I love this part of town and this street, and I also love when we see houses that they're reinvesting into great old buildings and in addition to an existing garage or ancillary building. So I think this is, and all of the things that are being requested are minor and more of about modernization and flexibility. So I would make a motion that we approve this application.
There's a forestry one condition.
One or two?
One.
Forestry one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Anyone
Gogan.
has any?
Do we have a seconder?
No, I agree. I just second.
Thank you, Mr. Ghosh. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval. Thank you. Moving on to item number 21. Item number 21 is 251 Markham Street. The committee had before it the following communication. Copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. Covering letter received from the agent received February 4th, 2025. And comparable approvals sent by the agent, which we received on February the 4th, 2025.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Thank you. Is that Alec Ring? Are you there?
Yes, this is Alec Ring. I'm the agent, 557 Water Avenue.
Good afternoon. Let me just check, and we don't have anybody in opposition, so we don't need a presentation for that purpose. Let me just see if my colleagues have any need for a presentation, perhaps, or if they have any questions of you. Any questions, Mr. Ghosh?
I do have a question. So the variance that causes me a little bit of concern is variance 5 about soft landscaping. I noticed that a lot of the backyard are pavers. Would there be a willingness for there to be a condition to make those pavers permeable? I understand the backyard is quite limited in space, so that's why I think maybe that's something that could improve it.
The change in the backyard is from about 10% that's existing permeable soft landscaping down to the 8%, and that's to achieve the access to the basement suite as well as having the doors to the garage and the main unit. It's super minor. We could probably look at increasing it slightly if need be, or look at permeable paving. The owner of the property is actually on as well. They may be able to comment to that further.
Yeah, so I would just say that even if the existing condition is subpar, we look at it as with fresh eyes when an application comes in, and so from our perspective, it's down from 25 to 8, or I think was the variance. So anything that can improve the water retention would be great, and recognizing that you need access to the buildings, that's why I suggest permeable pavers might be the better option to decreasing the soft landscaping, but anything you can do on that would make it more supportable in my view. My colleagues may see things differently.
Thank you. If I may just throw my 2 cents with, I think that's a very critical piece here. It's the one variance that really stands out. So I'm not sure if you're able to have a conversation with your client in the next few minutes and give us perhaps some indication of whether some of that hard landscaping could be reduced in favor of soft landscaping, or to replace it with perhaps permeable paving, so that we can perhaps take that into account and move on with it.
Yeah, so just to clarify, I mean, if we left the landscaping as existing, that would be acceptable as well, right?
What
I
would it
actually, no. No, when you apply for a variance, we look at it all as new, so
Okay.
technically, no.
Okay, that's different from what I was told through the examiner. The owner's just replying to me here. He's open to doing permeable paving for some of that area. So one of the reasons the number is so low, as you can see, there's the garage structure there, as well as the laneway, which I think over a meter of the laneway is considered the property. So when you factor in the garage and that portion of the laneway there, as well as the walkway up the side of the house to get to the proposed basement suite, there's not much area left over. So it's really between the house and the garage that is the usable space there to add some soft landscaping. So I don't know if that changes your perspective on anything, but we would be open to doing some permeable paving. We could do that maybe up to the 25%.
I'm just trying to figure out, that's wonderful. I was just wondering if you can provide a description perhaps of the area that would be turned into, or where you might utilize permeable paving, so that we can indicate it in our decision.
So if you go to the landscape plan, actually, you can also see a portion of the landscaping has the overhang over it. It's the next plan after the site plan. Up one. That one, yeah. So I think we could probably look at it in the area between the house and the garage, sort of the same depth as the soft landscaping.
Are you talking about the area that's identified as hard landscaping on this diagram?
Yes, but I would think not up the full side of the house to the stairs there, but rather stop it at the back wall of the stair.
Okay, I see what you mean. Just between the back of the house and the garage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would just be concerned with doing it up the side and it being quite a narrow area there between the property line and the foundation of the building, and having too much water sort of go in there versus into the ground in the back portion there, which is a little bit larger.
Thank you. Let me just see, Mr. Ghosh, would that work?
Yeah, I think that would satisfy my concern.
And we can connect it to, tie it to the drawing A11, as shown on A11, so it would be...
So the owner just said he's not keen on having it near the main dwelling or the garage, so can we provide a setback from those two?
If you can indicate how much of a setback?
$1 meter from the garage and 1 meter from the building. Again, his concerns are just about water getting into the foundations.
Okay, I'd be less concerned about an unexcavated garage foundation than the home, but how about one meter from the rear wall of the home to the garage be permeable pavers? Would that be an acceptable condition to your client?
So you're saying 1 meter from the house, that should be fine.
up to the wall.
And 0 from the garage.
It's just such a tight space. If we do 1 meter from each, then, you know, it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he's good with that.
Excellent, thank you so very much.
So basically 1 meter from that back face there, which is roughly in line with where the overhang comes to anyways, you can see dash there,
Okay,
back to the garage is what we're talking about.
that's correct.
Yeah.
I think that would do it. Thank you. Can we take it into committee for a decision? Okay. Mr. Ghosh?
Yeah, I'll just put forward a motion along those lines. It is, aside from the soft landscaping, all of the variances are quite minor. It's a reasonable change to make this home more useful for the owners. For those reasons, I move to approve it, subject to the condition that the rear yard area currently indicated as hard landscaping on the landscape plan be constructed with permeable pavers from 1 meter distance of the rear wall of the home to the garage. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that,
Or sorry, it's not a garage, it's an ancillary building, sorry.
okay. Has that been captured by staff? Yeah, okay, wonderful. Do we have a seconder to that motion? Thank you, Mr. Bissonnette. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Ring, you have your approval. Thank you. Moving on to item number 22, 459 Roncesvalles Avenue. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans and elevations, and 3 photographs of the subject property received on the 4th of February 2025.
For you, Mr. Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Thank you. Mr. Gorell?
Yes, good afternoon, Chair and committee members.
Hi, good afternoon. Bear with me, I think we don't have anybody in opposition. You've got 1 variance that's requested. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions or require a presentation. If not, we'll take it into committee for decision.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions? Any? Nope. Okay, perhaps we can take it into committee and look for a decision.
I'll make the
Mr.
motion to approve the variance.
Thank you, Mr. Bissonnette.
When I look around at the neighborhood, I think another residential unit would fit in with the neighborhood.
Perfectly. Thank you. Mr. Ghosh?
Could I just make a comment that I very much don't approve of this one, because it's a Main Street stretch of Roncesvalles. I think it is reasonable to expect that if you have a building there, maybe it decreases the property value to if you have trouble leasing that unit, but I can't imagine that this unit can't be leased at any price. And to me, it detracts from a Main Street fabric to remove it. So those are my 2 cents.
I'll add another comment, because you know the counter. I think across the street there's semi-detached housing nearby, so I think it's kind of an interesting dichotomy of commercial units to residential, almost like a semi. So I think you're right, it is more commercially, other commercial flavor to it, but I don't think it's
Yeah.
detrimental.
But Roncesvalles, part of the character, just to counter your counter, is that the east side is commercial all the way. And the west side traditionally wasn't, and we've seen some variances to add commercial on the west side, which I think can be appropriate, but the east side has always been traditionally fully commercial. So that's, yeah.
I'll still move my motion forward.
Yeah, we do have a motion on the floor.
I enjoy helping.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon. Okay, so we've have motion to approve, moved by Mr. Bissonnette, seconded by Mr. Gogan. All in favor? Okay, thank you. All against? Thank you, Mr. Goj. Sorry, Mr. Gorel, you have your approval. Thank you. And moving on to item 23, 125 Borden Street. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. Pardon me, 3 photographs of the laneway connected to the subject property, received on February 12th, 2025. 7 photographs of the subject property and trees, received February 5th, 2025. A letter to neighbors from the owners, received March the 5th, 2025. Site statistics prepared by the agent, received February 25th, 2025. And we have correspondence in support from a resident at 123 Borden Street, received on March the 4th, 2025.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent here in person, no registered speakers for this
Thank
item.
you. Number 23. Good afternoon, Ms. Kuhn. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bear with me. I just want to see if we don't have anybody in opposition at all. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions or require. Oh, I beg your pardon. Your name and address, please. Thank you.
Monica Kuhn, 12 Sackville Place.
Thank you very kindly. Colleagues, does anybody require a presentation? We have application with 2 variances. Any questions of the applicant? Okay. Looks like we might take it straight into committee for a decision.
Okay.
I'd like to look from, Ms. West, go ahead.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application. It's a very straightforward application with no condition.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Bissonnette, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. You have a unanimous approval.
Thank you very much.
Thank you kindly. And now, moving on to item number 24. Number 24 is 30 Milverton Boulevard. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. 3 photographs of the trees on the subject property, received February 7th, 2025. A cover letter from Mr. Galbraith, consultant, received March 19th, 2025. We have 9 form letters in support, signed by owners and occupants of 18, 26, 28, 36, 39, and 40 Milverton Boulevard, and 22, 24, and 35 Milverton Boulevard, received on the 3rd of March. And we have...
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Galbraith.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I hope you're doing well.
Thank you.
I don't see anybody in opposition to this. You've got lots of supporters, which is good news. Let me just see if my colleagues require either presentation or have questions of you. Any questions, any concerns? None? I'd like to see if anybody has a motion to put forward.
I'll put forward the motion to approve the applied for variances.
Thank you, Mr. Bissonette. Do we have a seconder? Thank you, Mr. Gogan. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Galbraith, you have approval. Thank you. And bear with me, just switching. And we're on to item number 25. Item number 25, 275 Glen Manor Drive East. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. 7 photographs of trees on the subject property received January 22nd, 2025. Covering letter from the agent received February 7th, 2025. And decision numbers received affecting subject property. We also have email correspondence from Toronto and Region Conservation Authority received January 22nd, 2025. Staff report from the Supervisor of Urban Forestry received March the 19th, 2025. And we also have a staff report from TRC received March the 20th, 2025.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent here in person, no registered speakers for this item.
Wonderful, thank you. Mr. McQuillan?
Yes, it's Robert McQuillan.
Hi, Quillan, thank you. Thank you for being here, and good afternoon. Let me just see, we don't have anybody in opposition, so we don't need a presentation from that perspective. Let me just see if my colleagues have any need for a presentation or have questions for you. This application looks to be a fairly straightforward one. We have a single variance request. Ms. West, go ahead.
Through you, Mr. Chair, as you mentioned, it's only one variance and very straightforward. Therefore, I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application with no condition.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Mr. Ghosh, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval.
Thank you very
so
much,
for
Mr.
being
Chair.
here, though.
I'm sorry, before I go, do I need to state my address?
Oh, my goodness, did I forget to ask?
I don't want to walk away with...
No, please do.
So my address is 2472 Kingston Road.
Thank you.
I have to say something if I'm here. Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very kindly. Okay. Okay, we're at item number 26, 301 Chaplin Crescent. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. 2 photographs of the subject property received February the 7th, 2025. Pardon me. We also have staff report from Urban Forestry received March 19th, 2025. And we also have staff reports from Metrolinx received March 18th, 2025, and from Urban Forestry, March 19th, 2025.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Thank you. This one is,
my name is Eddie Perez. I'm at 537 Rogers Road.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perez. Thank you for being here.
No problem. Good afternoon, everybody.
You've only got a single variance request. Oh, sorry, am I looking at the wrong one?
Yeah, we have only one variance, correct.
301 Chaplin, I beg your pardon. Too many screens and pages. Let me just see if my colleagues have any need for a presentation or if they have questions before we take it into committee. Any questions? None? Okay, it's becoming a good day. Mr. Perez, our colleagues, my colleagues don't have any need for a presentation, nor do they have any questions, so we'll take it into committee for a decision.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Ghosh?
I'll just go ahead and move approval of this one. It's one variance of a slight increase to FSI, which is entirely in keeping with this neighborhood. There is a forestry advisory memo about a warning about a tree permit that may or may not be granted, but it's apparently not affected by our approval. So I just note that for the agent, but there is also forestry condition 1. So I move to approve it subject to forestry condition 1.
Thank you. Which, sorry to interrupt, but which forestry condition was this one?
Oh, 1.
1. Thank you. I missed that. Thank you. Do we have a seconder, Ms. West? Thank you. We have a motion on the floor. Mr. Ghosh moved. Ms. West seconded. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Perez, you have your approval. Thank you. And now for number 27. Number 27 is 60 Pinewood Avenue. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. 8 photographs of trees on the subject property received February 12th, 2025. An arborist report received February 12th, 2025. We also have supporting materials from the agent received March 20th, 2025.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item. I would ask the presenter to present in the very late materials the red line public notice, and the agent will speak to that. Thank you.
Thank you. And it's Mr. Reitz.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Craig Ritz of CER Design Studio, 53 Chauncey Avenue.
Good afternoon. Before we move anywhere, I believe you've got some amendments, an amendment, I should say, to the application?
That's correct, yeah. From our initial submission, the results of the proposed 2-story rear addition would have, we've got an existing condition in the rear yard, would have ended up with a 31.7% soft landscaping area, and that was a concern to community planning. And as such, we worked with community planning to look for an opportunity to add some additional soft landscaping to the rear yard to increase the percentage. We propose adding 2 new planting beds, which you can see in the landscape plan that was added to the file. The addition of these planting beds increases the soft landscaping percentage to 38.6%, and community planning was satisfied with this solution.
Thank you. I think what we may require is that percentage, 38.6 in square meters, if we can provide that for us, please.
Yeah, it's the 54.54 meters square.
54.5 meters.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me just ask my colleagues if they have any other questions or need for a presentation. If not, we'll take it into committee for decision. Colleagues, any questions? Any need for presentation? No? Okay. So as an amended, this would be an amended application. Do I have somebody with a motion?
Sure, I'll put forward a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Bissonnette.
To approve the variance application as amended.
Thank you, and I don't believe there are any conditions attached to this. Do we have a seconder? Oh, they all went up so quickly, I think. Ms. West, I think you were the first one. Thank you. Bear with me. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Ritz, you have your approval. Thank you. moving on to item number 28. Number 28 is 677 Wellington Street West. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 6 photographs of the subject property received February 14, 2025, a cover letter from the agent received March 11, 2025, an order to comply affecting the subject property, a response letter from the agent received March 24, 2025. We also have a staff report from Metrolinx received on March the 18th, 2025. We have correspondence in concern from 157 Niagara Street received March the 7th, and another piece of correspondence in concern, no address provided, Patricia Robertson is the name, March 20th, 2025. We also have correspondence in opposition from 137 Niagara Street, received March the 18th, 2025, and correspondence in opposition received on March the 20th from 645 Wellington Street. I believe it's 645.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Thank you, and this would be, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, committee. My name is Max Murchison, and I represent the municipality, I would assume the city of Toronto, on this application, 677 Wellington Street West.
Thank you, Mr. Murchison. Thank you. Let me just see. There are no speakers, but do we have anybody in opposition that's online? Nobody at all? Okay. Let me just see if my colleagues have any need of presentation or have any questions for you. Colleagues, Mr. Gogan?
Thank you. Thank you for the application. Are these buildings, prefab buildings, permanent?
No, sir, those are temporary buildings for the next approximately a year and a half, because actually we are going to start working on behalf of Transportation Department to create a permanent building on the site on the left of this site, because this site is way too small to accommodate for everything. So on the actual yard.
So he said,
that was my only question, is if they may be temporary, which sounds like they are of a certain lifespan. Do we put a time-related approval to this, or is that even not a thing?
So, through you, Mr. Chair, time-related approval would be a little bit problematic because we are just about to get the approval for the other building right now. We are not sure how long it's going to take to build it. I'm assuming about 2 years altogether. This was my estimation. And meanwhile, this yard is responsible for all the snow removal in the area during the winter. As you know, we had a very tough winter this winter. So we wouldn't want to get to the situation where this yard cannot function or has to be closed. Now, also, I'm not sure if the committee had the opportunity to look into our letter, because we're explaining why specifically this location for the building was chosen. If you look into our letter, you will see, if you could have the letter open that we submitted, you would be able to see a map, and you will understand that this yard mainly, this lot actually used mainly as a means of egress from the actual main yard as an exit and entrance for the equipment. Therefore, this yard is very small, and we had to push the building on the side in order to accommodate for all the quick cleaning that needs to be done during the winter. And also there is an existing municipal building in the middle of the site. So it was very difficult to look at the building because there is a municipal building that is there. It's not in used, but it's there that is used by a different department. So yes.
Okay. No, I appreciate.
But also,
I
yeah,
think
sorry.
that- sorry to interrupt you. But like, just some of the correspondence referred to, people love their neighborhood and they see, and I think that what they were commenting on was kind of the level of care that is taken with regard to the neighborhood. And so if it's a temporary building, I guess maybe that'll be an improvement in the future. Or you'll restore it.
Definitely.
To what it was. Yeah. Okay. That was my only question. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Well, I am glad to hear that it's temporarily permanent.
It is, yes.
So that's good. So there's good indications. I think the folks that are listening and will probably be comforted by your responses. And hopefully we don't have too much snow in the future, but sufficient. Thank you. Let me take it into committee for a decision.
I have a question through you,
sure.
Mr. Chair, to the
We have another
Secretary Treasurer. No, not to the applicant, to the Secretary Treasurer. I think what Mr. Gogan raised is an interesting point. Is there have you seen a condition before of maybe not time, but tied to this particular structure so that we don't give them a variance that lets them build zero to the lot line with their new structure?
Through you, Mr. Chair, what you can do is put a time limit on this decision.
So
right?
then they
So
would
you
have to
could say-
reapply if the
Yes.
temporary structure were still there.
Yes.
Okay.
So you could allow this, because in the purpose of application, we do talk about how it's prefabricated. So building, so you can say we're allowing this for a term of 3 to 5 years. At least that gives them, like if it's not 2 years and it turns into 3 before they can start construction.
Yeah.
That sounds like a reasonable condition, 3 to 5, because if I'm not mistaken, I think the agent said something along the lines of 2 years.
2 years, and then was concerned when we mentioned a time limit, so
3 to 5 sounds.
3 or
3 or 4
or 4
5,
or
whatever
5. Yeah, we
the
have to
committee
pick a-
decides would
pick a
be.
year. Lane.
Mr. Gogan, would you like?
No, I recommend that as well. I think it's, but from the applicant, I understand his hesitation because 2 can turn into 5 years really quick. So, but I think that's a fair thing, and asking them to come back again in 5 years, I guess.
Yeah, that's all we'd be asking is if it's still there in 5 years, they'll just have to come and repeat so maybe 5 years is reasonable.
Yeah.
Would the wording be that this application is valid for 5 years from the?
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have our standard wording
Okay.
about this. Yeah, so we'll impose that into the condition.
Thank you kindly. Mr. Gogan, would you like to put forward a motion? Mr. Ghosh?
No, I'm happy for Mr. Gogan to do it. The only other comment that I have, though, is Metrolinx wants conditions, but I would not really be supportive of putting conditions on the city by Metrolinx.
Start a political war.
But, yeah,
I
if you
agree with that. So I'll put forward a motion as amended with regard to a 5-year time limit on the approval. And were those conditions by Metrolinx, or were they just?
There were both. There were
Condition,
both.
yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I would say we don't hold the applicant to the conditions as requested by Metro.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder?
Yeah. so
Mr. Ghosh, thank you. Okay. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Murchison, you have your approval. Thank you. Moving along at breakneck speed. We have item number 29. Item number 29 is, beg your pardon. Item number 29 is 63A Wayland Avenue. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. 2 photographs of the post on the subject property received March 17, 2025, and a decision number affecting the subject property as well. We have an arborist report received on February the 10th, 2025, and a staff report from Urban Forestry received March 19th, 2025.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have the owner on the line speaking for this application, no registered speakers.
Thank you. Mr. Forst?
Hello, my name is Steve Forst, 63A Wayland Avenue. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you very much for being there. Let me just see if my colleagues require a presentation or have any questions of you. I don't see anybody leaping up for a question or presentation. It seems a fairly straightforward application. I know there's a forestry condition, but that was about all that I had noticed in my reading of all the information that was provided. You have 3 variances requested. So it's fairly straightforward. We have Ms. West.
Yes.
We have
Yes. If there is no other question, through you, Mr. Chair, I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application with one condition of urban forestry number 1.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Gogan, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Forst, you have your approval. And finally, item number 30. Item number 30 is 75 Herbert Avenue. Committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a cover letter from the agent received on February the 11th, 2025, and an arborist report received on February the 11th, 2025.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have the agent online. We also have one registered, or 2 registered speakers here.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, are you there?
Committee, Jay Smith, agent for the application.
Address, please.
2814 Hollington Crescent, Mississauga.
Thank you. We do have a party in opposition, so I wonder if you could please provide a short presentation. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Absolutely, Mr. Chair. We are doing a fairly basic 2-story rear addition to the subject property. We are doing a ground floor addition with a small 2nd-story bump out at the rear. The purpose in general for the length of the second floor, the ground floor addition, is due to the placement of the existing basement stairs. We actually we're struggling a fair bit to retrofit that area to make them work and fit inside the OBC and the way that the current home is structured. We have a building length variance, but that is mostly due to the enclosure of the front porch at number 73. If you look at the site plan provided, you can see that if we had not had that bump out, we would be in line with the remainder of the homes, and our building length, our building depth would be 16.91. But due to that angle, we are slightly over. We are asking for a minor increase in the FSI to go up to 0.77. And the existing home is sitting at 0.6. I believe it is a modest increase. We are not doing a basement addition to this home due to the tree, due to working with the arborist. We are building on helical piles, so we are not able to get an increase in basement space. So we have increased the ground floor slightly from where we would normally have that. We have kept the base or the stairs and landing to a minimum, again, to push them as far as we can outside of the tree protection zone and to minimize impact on the tree. I'd be happy to answer any questions committee might have.
Thank you very, very much. Let me just see if there are any questions at this point. If not, we'll move on to the folks in opposition. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, if we could get your name and address, please.
Samantha Hutchinson, 77 Herbert Avenue.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. You have 5 minutes.
Yeah, sorry, my wife is registered with the CNIB. She's actually legally blind, and we put together a quick presentation just about getting a deferral for this. So to make things fast, I'll just read through it.
Please go ahead.
My name's Tony Oldland. I'm her husband. I live at the same address, 77.
Thank you.
Thank you. So last November, we were offered a unique opportunity to go to Florida, use our friend's condominium, as they wouldn't be going down there this year until February. Of course, we took them up on it. I arranged for someone to come and shovel snow while we were away. I also talked to my neighbor, David, a nice guy, to keep an eye on the outside of the property, seeing as he lives across the street from me. I told him we would return at the end of March. Dave happens to be very good friends with the applicants. Their kids play together. They all get together on the porch and socialize. I think they go to the cottage together sometimes also. It seems there would be a slim chance of the applicants not knowing that we were going to be gone until the end of March, seeing as how close these two families are. Just to be clear, I'm not saying that they did anything intentionally, like planning around this, but it seems convenient that the applicants, having never once mentioned to us this monster addition that they want to put onto the back, they decided to put in the submission for the addition while the people who are most impacted were not going to be here and would not be able to impact the decision of this committee. Because of the current trade war with our orange demon down south, Trump, we decided to cut the vacation a little bit short, and we came back a few weeks early. Once we came home and found the letter and found out what was going on, we started to do some research and went online to find the actual plans on the city page, city site and all that, showing the addition. And at that point, we realized how big the addition was actually going to be and realized it was going to be against that fence line, blocking most of our yard from sunlight. We contacted our lawyer who does our real estate and our wills and everything to ask him for some advice, but he said it wasn't his area of expertise, but there was a good planning firm downtown that he would recommend, and that's Loopstra Nixon. I contacted that firm, but by the time I got in touch with them and they got back to me, and we played phone tag, it was the end of the week. So they made us an appointment to talk to one of the urban planners this Monday just passed. So she said to us that basically the applicants had to meet the 4 requirements in order for a variance to pass, and that several of these weren't actually being met, and that she would be able to send out an urban planner to look at the property, research past precedents, et cetera, so that we would be better equipped going into a COA meeting. But she wouldn't be able to do it on such short notice. She basically told us that going in today to try to fight it would be like, and this is her quote, like taking a butter knife to a gunfight. I had taken photos. I did mock-ups of what it would look like from our side of the fence on my computer. I did a little bit of Photoshop to show what the impact would be on our property. I couldn't enter them because by the time we got back, there wasn't enough time for me to actually send them into the committee. So even if I did a presentation, I wouldn't be able to show you understand, because of the cutoff date. And unlike the States, where they're pulling people out of their houses and shipping them to El Salvador, I know we have due process here. We have a whole different system where it allows people, when faced with a situation like this big addition that they want to put on, blocking our light in our backyard, that we can come in and be given a fair opportunity just to present our side. So for us to present any case today, it would have been blatantly unfair, seeing as we were, excuse me, page 1177. It would be blatantly unfair, seeing as we were robbed of any actual time to actually put together a proper case. And we wouldn't ask today to rule against the variances. All I'm asking for is we're given enough time to get our experts out, get our information together, talk to some of the other neighbors who may be impacted by this building, but they don't realize how much, and then come back here properly armed with the accurate information and the ability to actually demonstrate with presentation materials for the screens. The last thing in closing, you had mentioned earlier about the changes to the law 2 years ago. That would preclude us from appealing any decision that was made today. And it's a very important thing for our life. It's our backyard. It would be a complete blockage of the light back there. We haven't had a chance to study things like the easements and things that are on the property. We're completely ill-equipped to this, and we were only lucky that we came back early, because of Trump. We came back early to find the letter in our mail and to be able to make an appointment to come down here today. So what we're just asking is if you could defer it to another date, giving us adequate time to talk to Luther Nixon, get their people out, talk to some of the neighbors, and actually have a fair opportunity to address the situation and show our viewpoint. That's it.
Thank you very much. Let me just see if our colleagues have any questions for you at all. Colleagues, do you have any questions at this point? No? Thank you. We'll take you back to the agent and see if there's a response from the agent for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I totally respect that the neighbors were not expecting this and that they had been away. Public notice was given. My clients did reach out to neighbors around them that were home and have had discussions. The other thing we have done is we have worked to minimize any impact from overshadowing. We have a 3.96 total height of the rear ground floor addition. The second floor is significantly set back to reduce any massing. I don't believe that we are creating any large shadow impact on the neighboring property. We have no side yard setback variances. We have no height variances. The length variance is not there. The depth we have, which I explained, is 0.28 meters, which is due to that offset front yard. I'd be happy to answer any committee questions, but I do believe we meet the 4 tests. And I do believe the massing is sympathetic to any neighboring properties. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any, Mr. Ghosh?
Yeah, if I may, and what is your thought on a deferral, since that's the actual request made by the neighbor?
As much as I respect that, we actually have a construction build date for June. So if we defer this, we're going to lose our contractor. I would prefer not to do that today. If the committee, of course, chooses to defer, I respect that.
Through you, Mr. Chair, would it help if we scheduled this application for the April 30th hearing? If there was a deferral?
It would, we would still, by the time we're done April 30th, we get final and binding, we're at the end of May, and I haven't gone in for permit yet. We would be really pushing to get a permit in place for June. If the committee would prefer to defer, again, I respect that decision and we would abide by that.
Colleagues?
Through you, Mr. Chair, could I direct a question to the neighbors?
Yes, please, by all means.
This is a tough situation because, in fact, I think it's maybe the first time I've encountered a neighbor wanting a deferral where the applicant themselves doesn't want a deferral in this sort of way. I'm one of the panel members here who is a lawyer. I know Loopstra Nixon very well. They are good lawyers. Lawyers do like to make money. I look at this application and I have a very hard time seeing, on the panel here, we get very good over time at being able to visualize what impacts are. And here it's I think, 0.27 meter extension at the back, and floor space index is also a small variance compared to what we see in similar contexts. And so I guess what I would say is, if you take the time to go and get all of that support, it might just be an expense without a different result. Does that,
If I could answer, I understand what you're saying, but as my husband pointed out to you earlier, I have what's called retinitis pigmentosa, so I need natural light. I need light to be able to live and to see.
Yeah.
And this is why I couldn't read anything today, because it's too dark in here for me. The building itself, my understanding is it's going to overhang our backyard, and our backyard fence is quite low. They already have a huge enclave of trees and a great big huge tree that we've had arguments with them about trying to get it cut back and so on, because it's over our property line, which we did out of our own expenses to do that. My concern is that once you put that up, that's gonna cast a shadow over my whole backyard. And I've already gone through this where plants have been wrecked. My gardeners had to replace things. We've had to replace and remove things around because we don't have enough light. Now that we have a little bit of light, they're gonna take away that little bit of light. Plus, it's gonna block our whole sunroom. We have a sunroom over the bedroom, which is where I sit and read. It's all windows. It doesn't matter how high up they're gonna go or how low they're gonna go. It's gonna impact the light that comes in that room as well.
Well, what I will say in response to this is I am glad that you're here today because this evidence actually is more helpful to us than I think any report on the 4 tests from Loubser Nixon would be. It's because, minor variances, what we look at is what is the impact minor? And so you've given your evidence on why to you it's not. So this, I think, is actually the most helpful to us.
Could I just say one thing you said about the expense? This is very important to us because, again, she won't be able to see in the backyard. The building's going to be 12 feet high. It's going to go over a third of the way from the back of our house to where the garages start. We'll have like a small space where light can come in between about 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock in the morning, and then that's it. We're done. We're in the dark. Whatever the expense is for Loubser Nixon is going to be, it's going to be worth it. This is something that's very important to us. She's been there for 20 years. We're retired now. We just want to enjoy our home, and to have this giant wall up against our fence line. The yard's only 15 feet wide. So a 12-foot high wall in front of her, you may as well just put a great big tarp across there and put us in the dark, especially with her condition. So we have no issue with paying Loubser Nixon or whoever it is, but we would like to know before this goes. I would rather pay that money and then have them do the studies and make sure that we're fully aware of what's going on, and if the committee decides at that point that that the variances aren't that extreme, or it's not affecting us or impacting us, or impacting the neighborhood, it's all meeting the conditions, etc. We don't have an issue with paying an independent person to come in. We would have done that had we been informed, but again, we were out of the country. They knew we were out of the country. They're best friends with our neighbor who was watching our house, so.
It is what it is.
It's going to cost us a lot of money to do that, but to us, it's actually worth it. So all we're asking is to give us the opportunity that we can actually bring these people in and get it done fairly and come back here on another date. April 30 is fine to us. Come back on April the 30th if that's the date you want to do, so that our people can actually present and give us a fair chance.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, what we try to do is we try to look at what is as of right and what is minor in reality. So with the exception of the 29 centimeters that they're asking for beyond the limit, they could pull the building back 29 centimeters and they wouldn't have to even come for this application because it would be an as of right application. So they wouldn't.
I'm not mistaken, they're also going over the square foot.
And then there's height and mass, of course, obviously.
Yeah.
So, but I'm saying that so we haven't made a decision. There's no decision here, but in comparison to a lot of applications, this does feel minor to us, like with regard to the order of magnitude of the request. I'm speaking on behalf of myself, not on behalf of the group, and that the FSI increase is in line with what we're seeing people do with homes that they live in and expanding them to accommodate whatever.
I might respond to that. I looked around, and again, I haven't had time to research.
Yeah.
I walked around the neighborhood, and I know there are buildings. The lawyer at Loubser said there was actually one house in our neighborhood that had a .99. But the thing is, they didn't go out 17 feet across their neighbor's fence. They added on to the front, they added on to the top, added a floor, etc. The nature of this building is that they're basically just building a long wall across our backyard and asking to add actually more above the legal amount. Like if push came to shove eventually, and they wanted to compromise and build something that fit in with the rest of the neighborhood, that being the two houses, our house and the house south of theirs, which both have two-story additions, but they're only about 7 feet deep. that wouldn't be an issue, but
I appreciate that. I just think that, I was just trying to give you some insight into the decision-making process we go through.
yeah,
Yeah.
I understand that. And I know that they're looking to get this thing started as soon as possible. It might be a minor inconvenience to them to have to delay shortly, but the thing is, the inconvenience to us is for the rest of our lives.
Yes, if you let me, through you, Mr. Chair, I just want to add, to comment to my colleague comments. As of right, they can build 7 meters, so this 28 centimeter, it's kind of like 11 inches.
Yeah.
So if they just want to just go back to the where that they can permit it, it means that that building can just shift it less than a foot back. But I understand the impact of your wife.
And also, well, with the length of it, that would just be the length of it. They still, if they were to conform to the actual bylaws, then they would have to conform to 0.6 instead of 0.77, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So if they had to do that, the thing is that also would bring the length of it back. Even if it were 3 feet back, instead of it being 9 feet across on a 25-foot backyard, it might only be 6 or 7 feet.
Yeah, I understand, and that's why they bring to this panel for minor variance.
Exactly. But this is why we wanted to have an opportunity to have someone, an actual professional who's had time to look at this, so that we're not stuck with something that's going to last the rest of our lives just for the convenience of a builder who wants to get this thing started pronto.
Okay. I think they just need some more time to think through, but to me, it's a very minor application, but I totally understand their points of view.
Perhaps we can take it into committee now and look at some of the pros and cons, and if I can weigh in. I am very sympathetic to the concerns of the neighbor. However, I think, as I think two of my colleagues have indicated, when this application comes back, and if the neighbor actually pulls the project back to what is as of right, the structure will not be very different to what is being proposed now. And all the effort that have been put into it will be for naught. The frustration levels will just be for naught. Because this is really a very minor application as applications go. And as a committee, we're here to look at the 2 variances before us to see how minor they are. And as my colleagues have indicated, I think as applications go even today, this is probably one of the most minor ones that we've had. So I don't think we'll get a different result. I think at the end of the day, we'll have the same sort of result, and we'll have the same frustration.
Yeah,
It's a difficult one. Sorry, Mr. Ghosh?
Oh, sorry.
No.
Done. What I might add is, so, there are 2 considerations, and I think it's clear that as a panel, we view this as a minor variance. And so then there's a question of deferring just for process concerns for the neighbor. I think we have to look at what would a deferral bring to the committee. Would it bring new evidence of, what I would call probative value, like new evidence that actually makes a difference? I think if we had this same hearing again, the evidence that's the most helpful is what we've already heard, that sunlight is of particular importance to these neighbors, and they have a particular concern about that. I think we have the evidence that we need today. And then coming to the variances themselves, considering that evidence, I would say, every variance and every change in the city does have an impact, and this one will have an impact on them. But when we consider, on balance, the nature of the change being proposed here, I don't think I've ever seen such a small FSI and depth variance to produce what is, in the scheme of things that we see, a very small rear addition. I've never seen it refused.
Any other thought?
Yeah, our considerations here are really about these two variances. Mr. Chair, I appreciate the neighbor's perspective and the fact that they came down here to see us and speak to this. These two requests, these two variances are so very minor, and we're not here to judge the overall design or impact of the project. Our scope is very narrow in these variances, and I do find them supportable based on what I see in front of me.
Thank you, Mr. Bissonnette. Mr. Gogan, did you have?
I think the only thing I'd add to that, I do agree with that approach, but I also think that the proposed massing, where the second floor is pulled back from, is actually the most, a fairly excellent mitigation for impact on the neighborhood. We effectively have a one-story addition that goes out to the limit of the property, and the second story is much more restrained.
Thank you. Can I look for a?
I don't think.
No. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think you'll get a different answer. It'll be the same question, no different answer. Can I look for a motion?
Right.
Ms. West?
Yes, see how it goes. My motion will be to defer this application to be heard on the April 30th, 2025, so that the neighbors have an opportunity to just do their research and understand more about what will be proposed, and come back here at April 30th. That's my motion.
Thank you. All those in favor of a deferral to April the 30th?
Well, it hasn't been seconded yet, Mr.
Oops, I do beg your pardon. We need a seconder. Is there a seconder? No seconder? Sorry, Ms. West, that one fails. Different motion, folks?
Sure.
Mr. Ghosh?
I'll move for the reasons we've discussed, that it is a minor variance, two minor variances, in the view of the committee, to add a few centimeters and a small FSI increase, and I would add, as Mr. Gogan said, it's masked in a way that is meant to minimize impacts. For those reasons, I would move to approve it.
Thank you, Mr. Ghosh. Do we have a second? Mr. Gogan, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. And Ms. West, you oppose. You have your, sorry, it's Mr. Smith. Are you online still, I hope? Okay. You have your approval. Thank you, everybody. And with that, we conclude today's hearings.
Through you, Mr. Chair, then we are adjourning at 4:54 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.